Every time they see me pull up, everybody say mashallah. Catch me on the flight, you not gonna catch me on the corner. Tryna make this team, me not gonna mix up in the drama. They chatty blah blah, messing with my karma.
Welcome back to the channel to another video, guys. I'm sitting in the MR2 and this car is, I've not posted many videos on it, but I have had it on road for about 5 months, and this is a special car. It's on 270,000 miles and it's a H-Reg, so it's actually a 1990, so it's a Rev 1. So 270,000 miles, probably one of the highest mileage Mark II MR2s there is, and being a H-Reg, it's actually one of the first registered because the Mark I ended in 1989 and 1990 was when the Mark II came out, and this car kept going for about 10 years and then you had all the different revisions. So this was the very first one. So this is, you know, it's a special car, but 270,000 miles, there is a lot wrong with it as well. So in this video we're just going to go through everything wrong with the car, and yeah, before we get into all the list and all the things wrong with it, let's give the car a start up, cold start, and give the car a few revs. Okay, so that was a few revs from the car. I want to show you the first thing wrong with this car, number one. Okay, let me just start the engine again. Okay, start the engine again. Sounds lovely as always. If you look here, okay, now the light's not coming on. The one time the light doesn't come on, there's normally an amber oil light there. So that's showing that, you know, I think the oil sensor in the sump's broken, because I've done an oil change on it. I know the oil's fine, I've checked the dipstick, but the light still comes on. And for the first time ever, the oil light doesn't want to come on. You would have seen it in the previous clips when I'm recording the car revving up, but for some reason it's, I don't know, the first time in 5 months the light's not on. But that was the first thing that was wrong with the car. Oh, there it is. There you go. Okay, so the second thing that was wrong with the car when I got it, let me just shut the engine off, is that the tyres were all nearly done. One was completely bald, the other ones were done. And I think a car like this, old car, mid-engine, you want the best tyres on it. So what I done was I bought a set of Revision 3 alloys with tyres. So it was actually cheaper just to buy a set of alloys with tyres as to just buying 4 new tyres for the 17s that I had on the car. They were Wolf Race 17 inches. So I've got these on their Rev 3 15-inch Toyota wheels. And yeah, I'll jump outside and I'll just show you them right now. So that's them here, the 15s. These are the Rev 3 wheels. And you can see this kind of like centre bit here. The centre bit was missing from the front ones. So I'm still trying to source some of them. So if anyone has one or knows where to buy them, let me know. Yeah, so it's actually cheaper just to buy a set of 15s with rubber on them. The long-term plan is to eventually get 17s that I like and get a nice, you know, new tyres on them. But we got to sort everything else out on the car first, so that was that. Okay, the next thing that was broken on the car was the front wheel was actually only held on by 3 studs. So these cars have 5 studs, but there's only 3 on that. So I fixed it, bought some old studs on eBay, fitted them, and now it's back to 5. And I also changed the lug nuts because they were the tuner style ones. So I'm going to insert some clips now of when I done that. If you look here, there's only 3 studs on the alloy, so these 2 have snapped. So we're going to try and fix them today. No idea how that will go, but hopefully that works out okay. There. And I've also bought a new set of bolts for nuts for the lug nuts for the wheels, because currently these were the ones holding on, and these are like the tuner ones, so they're kind of conical. And if you look at the stock alloy, they're not really designed for the stock alloy. But if you look at the Toyota ones I bought, they're like this, and they fit in nicely like that. As you can see, 2 broken studs. Those bolts are off, carrier's off, and the brake disc can come off. And now we can knock out these 2 old studs and get the new ones in. Alright, it's time to hammer the old stud out. Alright guys, we got the 2 old ones out. That's one there and one there. Next thing wrong with the car is when I first got it, I actually didn't have a radio at all, so I've put this in here. I don't want to show too much of this because I'm going to have a separate video on this head unit. I still need to get a stereo bracket so that it fits in straight. Yeah, but I'll be honest, the sound system on this is horrible. It's not too bad, but I think it's because of the old amplifiers, so there's a lot of static and it's just not the best, so I'll probably be doing a full overhaul soon. So that was another thing wrong with the car, but that's kind of fixed now because I've got a radio in. A lot of these things I have fixed, maybe half the list I've fixed, half I haven't, so we'll keep going. What else was wrong with the car? Yeah, the next thing was the HVAC system. It was whistling, so if I turn it on, right? Listen and you'll hear a whistle. See that whistling noise when it's on high? It's not too bad when it's on hot, but it's there you can hear the whistling. So there's probably some blockage in I'll need to find, but it is really, really annoying, the whistling noise. So that was that. The next thing that's broken is the windscreen wipers. So watch this. So I have no idea how these windscreen wipers work, but I'm pretty sure they're broken. So look, I push the stock down once, nothing happens. Turn this thing, nothing happens. Push it down again, now they come on. And see if I turn them off, they don't reset back to the default position. They just, you know, they just stay there. So I have to time it and then turn them off. And nothing happens for the first thing. So I think there's something wrong with the wipers. Any other Mark II owners that know about these cars and how the wipers works, let me know. But I'm pretty sure they should go back to default position because I've got a Mark I. I've been working on a Mark I as well, and they go back to default position. So I don't see how the Mark I can do it and the Mark II can't do it. So that was another thing wrong with the car. Okay, the next thing broken. So electronics wise, window here works. That window works. Door lock, they work. Window lock works. The only thing that didn't work was these power mirrors. So the right side doesn't work. The left side does work. Don't want to mess my adjustment up, but left side does work. So the right power mirror doesn't work. That's another thing broken. Electronic wise, the lights are perfect. They come on and they pop up. Beautiful. That's all fine. So from the inside of the car, I think that's everything. I'm trying to think. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll jump to the exterior and I'll show you some of the exterior things wrong with the car. Okay, looking at the exterior now, there's 3 places where there's rust. So there's this here, kind of like the bubbling over the arch. It's not too bad. There's that. If we go over here, bit of rust there. I'm not sure how much that'll be to fix, but there's some rust there. This arch is okay. Coming around the car, there was another piece of rust up here, right there, which 3 pieces isn't too bad for a car on 270,000 miles at all. If we look at the sills are a wee bit suspect. That's probably something else wrong with the car. I think that's kind of been filled with some sort of filler. So we'll see. It's going into its MOT soon, so we'll see how it does. Go around. check out the other sill. And also the boot, water kind of collects here in a pool, and then when you lift the boot up it kind of like comes streaming down, so I don't think water should really be collecting here, so that's another thing wrong. That's everything wrong with the exterior of the car. We've done all the interior stuff, electronics, all of that. Let's now look at the engine, see what kind of mechanical things are wrong with the car. So if you look here to the engine cover, there's nothing to hold it up. That's just missing. So we have to use a plank of wood. Here we go, plank of wood, always to hold that up. And it's actually same for the front. So if I open that up, I think that's this one here. There's nothing holding it up. So there should be something to hold up. This looks really clean for the mileage. I managed to get a spare wheel off someone. Yeah, but this you need to use a plank of wood to hold up as well. Okay, so when I bought the car, I actually had this on it, this sort of cone filter. But the problem with this is that this was connected up like that, where I've put this in place. I got this from a breaker, another owner in Greenock who breaks MR2s. He helped me and got me some parts. So if you notice here, you have this hose going in there. This didn't have that at all, so what that meant was unfiltered air was going through this hose. I don't actually know what that hose is for, but I didn't like the idea of unfiltered air going into the engine. And also there's a connector there, which is I think it's air temperature. That was just completely deleted from the system and it's just hanging in the base, so I just kind of had to got that put back in. So I got rid of this, went for a kind of stockish one. I think this is from a turbo or something, so I had to put blocking plates there and there, but it just means there's no unfiltered air going into the system. Looking at the engine itself though, it actually looks really good for the mileage, like surprisingly good. There's a wee bit of oil leaking down here somewhere, but it's next to nothing, it's just kind of like surface. I'll give the engine another restart so you can hear it, but it runs really sweet and I've not had any problems. So I've just kind of changed that over, given it an oil change. Gonna turn it off, I don't want to annoy any neighbours. Okay, so I also had to change the rear lights because the cover was missing from one. They were Lexus style lights, so I thought I'd just go back and put the Rev 1 lights on, because to be honest they would have failed the MOT without the cover, and it's difficult sourcing a cover for the lights. So I've done that, I'll show you some footage of that. The next thing broken is the rear lights. So this car has the sort of Lexus style lights, and if you look at this one here, the cover is completely missing, so that's an MOT failure. I did try and see if I could source a cover, but it is difficult. So I do have a full set of original lights over here, so we'll fit them back to the car, and maybe it'll be an improvement, maybe not, but we'll get them on. One problem solved, as in the Lexus style lights off and the originals back on, and I gave them a quick refurb as well, and yes, they're looking really nice. But there's a new problem. This piece here was designed for the Lexus light, so it's curved, and it's curved on the other side. So what I'll need to do is buy another one of these middle parts, which will delete these reverse lights. Then I'll need to put new bulbs into these lights here. So I'll get that ordered and get that done. So it's like you fix one problem, then another problem comes. And what else have I done? The front brake pads I changed over. I'll show you some footage of that. Now the plans for the car is to get it MOT'd, because the MOT is up in about 2 weeks. Once it's MOT'd, I'm going to sorn it over winter, because I don't want to be driving a Rev 1 270,000 mile MR2 in winter, and it's kind of like coronavirus and COVID-19, so I'm not driving much anyway. So I'm going to sorn the car. After I've done the MOTs, then I'll know maybe if it needs any work done to it, and then we'll just go into next year, and I've got a lot of stuff to do to this, because it's an ongoing project. But just for value, I don't think it's worth selling. I won't get much money for it. I'll be lucky to get even like you know, just because of the mileage and it's a Rev 1, but it is a special car. It's a H-Reg, one of the first ones out, 270,000 miles, and it's actually part of Toyota's high mileage club. So I got in contact with Toyota and it's part of the high mileage club, so it's got the stickers and it's representing Toyota there. Anyway guys, that's the end of this video. I've got so many videos planned. Put down in the comments anything you want to see, because I read the comments, I reply to you guys, and if you've got suggestions, you want to see videos, let me know and I'll make them happen. And we hit 2,000 subscribers, so the next goal is 2,500, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Alright, hit that subscribe button and let's hit it. Alright, thanks a lot for watching, appreciate everyone, and I'll see you guys for the next video, and peace.